October 30th, 2025. I'm showing my percentages here, how I am deep red on a lot of things. There's some things that my position is just so small that I'm okay going to negative 90%. Like the Sand November call, that's just a small earnings play, and there's no liquidity on SMD. So honestly, I'm not expecting much from that. And then what are some others? Yes, CMG. They just had earnings that didn't go well. I'm still holding that, hoping for a recovery. Not necessarily hoping. We'll look at the chart. I think there's a chance. The other one that was big red, which I don't think is down. Yeah, down here. UUUU. I made I made a good call on UUUU calls in November and December. Those I was big green on, but I always like to leave one short term call just in case it goes to the moon. So I'm not losing much money here. These are sort of my lottery ticket plays. Everything else is also red. I mean, BBAI cash secured puts are red, the original ones I bought, but I do have another one up here that's green that I bought more recently. This power name is green. Bull is flat today mostly, but a little bit red, which I consider flat for bull. Oscar, I may get assigned. I have some cash secured puts expiring tomorrow, in which case I'll just play the wheel. Oscar's my wheel and deal stock. And then GLXY, I was looking at GLXY. I was wondering how could I have gotten a better fill? Did I buy at the wrong time? So I'm going to look at GLXY. And then the other one I bought was CoreWeave. I'm going to look at CoreWeave as well. Both of those I bought relatively recently, and they're pretty big red, excuse me. So I'm going to figure out like what was wrong with my entry and see if I can do better next time. Now, the new things I'm in, Amazon, I'm going to play the earnings, but I never buy short term calls. So I'm going to play a call out in December, 290, December. Not going big because it's earnings. And then Microsoft, I bought a January call. I think they're just massively oversold after their earnings. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm down 30%. That's probably just IV. So I didn't go in heavy. So there's an opportunity for me to buy a little bit more depending on how the market shapes up over the next couple days. I'm still sort of have a bear bias for tomorrow, and then maybe we'll see an end of the year rally. Who knows when that'll happen? Yeah, I'm also still in ASST. It's flirting with my stop loss, but I'm still in it. Uh, yeah, let's go down the list. What's my first one? EOSC. So what I'm looking at is RSI bands. I've noticed that more and more the stocks that I pick, I can get a better entry if the RSI is closer to the bottom here. And so I added this RSI band indicator to show that to show the RSI on the chart essentially. So now if I see something like on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, I'm going to try to use the 4 hour mostly. I like to hold things a little bit longer. If I see it oversold on the 4 hour, that can be my entry. And so EOSC is another energy company that, along with all the AI craziness that's going on, energy is also pretty big. Bull is chugging away sideways. So Bull, I have a ton of cash secured puts on. I don't show it here, but I have a lot of cash secured puts. If I get assigned, well, and I have a lot of shares as well. My cost basis is somewhere in the just under $12 range, and then my cash secured puts, I have a gamut of them. I have a couple at 15 even, way up here. So this one, I'm waiting for earnings. I mean, anything could happen, but my gosh, if they go profitable, if they show profit, this thing is going to the moon. And so that's what I'm excited for. Look, if their earnings go from negative to then profit, that's huge, I think. And that was really the inflection point, or part of the inflection point with Robinhood. And this is something I'm kind of looking forward to when they went from here. Where is it? They started to make a profit right back here somewhere. Yep. So November 23, not profitable. August 23, not profitable. February, starting to make a profit, actually. Huge surprise. And what happened to their stock when they started to make a profit? Let's zoom in here. Oh my gosh. Look at these lines. So the RSI band didn't even matter. It was oversold the whole time on this ride up, and it kept going up, and it kept going up fast. So that's what I'm hoping happens for Webull. Bull does have a China connection. I know China and U.S. relations aren't great, but you know what? This this stock, I think, is just. I think the app is just way better than Robinhood. I think there's no reason that it should be this low, and the market cap should be much higher, in my opinion. I think there's a huge opportunity for growth. So I'm going to be watching this earnings really closely. MDLZ, this is just a small recovery play. Contracts are cheap. I mean, their earnings, they had to drop their revenue estimate for the year, but honestly, like this company sells Oreos and like crackers, Ritz crackers. They're oversold. I mean, this is, and in my mind, they can recover. Um, so this is a recovery play. You know, they do have dividends. So as interest rates get cut, people are going to be looking for more dividends. So that's the sort of thing I'll be looking for, is just a bit of a recovery on this. I'm not in heavy. BBAI, BBAI. The learning on this, I got in a little early. Um, in reality, I think if I were to do this again, I would wait for the trend line that I have written, that I've drawn now, to break down to this RSI. That would be the ideal play. And maybe I could like say, okay, I'll average down a little bit, but the key here is, does it break below the support the support trend line? If yes, buy it, as opposed to buying at the trend line. You know, I see it right here, break below the support line multiple times, like right here, and so that's my cue. That's like in the literature they call it like the spring that could lead to a breakout. Or at the very least, you know, that'll give me a better cost basis than what I have now. And then I'd probably be more green on a lot of these things as opposed to where I am right now, which is red. GLXY, I think this is worth a proper post-mortem. I saw it bouncing off this support line, and I thought that was a bullish sign. And of course, as with most stocks today, it dipped below the support line, and now it's sort of riding this 200 EMA, I believe is what that is. And then there's another trend line way down here, so that's a large gap. There are probably some support levels like here to watch out for, but and then of course we have the oversold RSI right below it. So my learning here is the support line is not enough. I mean, let's compare this to Bitcoin right now, though. Is it worse or better than Bitcoin? So I'll pop in my real relative strength um, indicator down here. Let's look at how Bitcoin's doing. Okay, so the upside though is they build data centers for Bitcoin and AI, and the good news is we are green on relative strength on the 4 hour. So that tells me that even though Bitcoin is not doing so hot, it's kind of chopping around, going down mostly. Oh, and it actually just reached oversold status, so that's a bullish sign, at least a short-term bullish sign. What that tells me with GLXY though is it's still a hold. I'm not gonna. I actually didn't think about what my stop should be here. I would probably go. I would probably go right below this support right here, this support level that's created from the spike upwards. So I think that's where my stop should be. So I'll put this right about there. And if I see a 1 or 2 hour candle close, then that'll be my sign to exit for real, and it'll keep going down. And that maybe the AI bubble is bursting, but honestly, I don't think so. In Meta and Microsoft earnings calls, they said that they're spending a ton on data centers, a ton on AI engineers. So, and actually in Meta, they said they're going to continue increasing their costs on these data centers. Now, GLXY is also, Bitcoin related. So, such is life, that Bitcoin isn't going to the moon right now. But AI, I think, is still going to be hot. Specifically, the infrastructure side is going to be hot for a little bit longer. So that's GLXY. So lesson there, postmortem, real quick. I should have waited for perhaps an EMA support, which is right below, or I should have waited for RSI, oversold status. So that's my learning there, where the support line is not quite enough. If we don't break out, I guess I'll be stopping out right here. There's a lot of volatility with FOMC that just happened. SND, this is my speculative play. So this is kind of just buy it and forget it. Yeah, what did I predict? I actually predicted that it would go down and I would buy more. So far, so good. Honestly, I'm in the red, but it's doing exactly what I expected. And if you look at the on balance volume, this tells an excellent story where the stock is going down a little bit, but overall the on balance volume is trending up. Where's RSI at? RSI overbought is over here at 2.5. Wow, this is quite the range. RSI oversold is down here 1.85. So, I mean, if you just play the RSI band, I mean, it's just generally looking good. I think it's pretty clear we're going to not see much movement, though, until earnings. And it looks like, maybe we'll get a surprise and we'll get a nice spike upwards. ASST, oh man, so close to stopping out of this so many times. Wow, just let's take a look. Alrighty. Why didn't I stop out? Well, on the 4-hour chart, we did have a candle close below my original stop, but I've been learning in this current market, there's always a dip below the trend line. And there's two things. I believe my original trend line was something like this. And I said, actually the orange one was my original trend line. But the steeper the trend line, the easier it is to break. So I think in this case, I should have stopped out at around 1.3. But you know what? YOLO. To be honest, I don't have a good reason. Actually, no, there is a good reason. So let's look here. So this real relative strength indicator, it tells me how the stock is performing compared to other indices. Now, we're not performing well compared to like SPY, that sort of thing. Let's take a look. SPY. Yeah, so SPY has ripped upwards the last couple days. But compared to BTC, the current Bitcoin price, and look at that. This is outpacing Bitcoin. Even while Bitcoin was going down or sideways, this is still doing quite well. So that means if I want some Bitcoin exposure, then ASST is a better investment than buying Bitcoin itself. I might do a separate video on that. So that's why I'm still holding. Oscar. Yeah, this one I predicted a trade sideways. It actually did just break the 200 EMA. Not too happy about that. We do have a GEX put wall and a support level coming in. So I'm pretty confident it'll hold. And, anything could happen with this market, though. We just had FOMC, no guarantee of December rate cuts. So if as that pessimism wears off, maybe we'll see it go up. Or if that pessimism sticks, they will float sideways and go down. But we are at a support level. I mean, RSI oversold is just right below this. So I'm possibly going to get assigned when is earnings next week. Well, I might be holding shares through earnings. Amazon, yeah, huge possibility for earnings. I don't usually play earnings. But the reason why Meta and Microsoft went down was due to increased capex. I believe Amazon already has a lot of their data centers set up and ready to go. I mean, they've had SageMaker, which is basically in like GPU server data centers since before LLMs were a thing. And so I feel like the capex on Amazon will be a different story. And the fact that they're laying off, believe it or not, layoffs are good long term for stocks because it reduces their expenditures. So I think I'm not going to play zero DTE. Well, maybe I'll do one contract at close, but I'm going to play these December calls. And the reason why I bought in is it closed the gap. So I had mentioned previously I was looking for it to properly close this gap. I almost FOMO'd on this wick right there, but I'm glad I waited. Now I got in, I think, at a good price. I'm pretty happy. Of course, I will do another video on how I got wicked out right down here, and we'll look at the chart and my learnings from that. But I mean, there's only good things that I'm expecting from earnings. Worst case scenario, what's the nearest oversold or trend line? I mean, oversold is down here, and then the trend line is here. So that could be the worst case. And honestly, though, with layoffs, Amazon's got layoffs coming. That's always bullish. I don't understand it, but that's the way it is. BAER. Yeah, this one I was trying to capitalize on a possible imbalance. So the huge candle on, I think, bullish news. Insane bullish divergence with on balance volume here. On balance volume should not go up this much if the price is flat. And what we saw was that from here to here, the price is going down, essentially, or flat, but the on balance volume was going through the roof. So that tells me that, maybe it's shorts recovering or maybe accumulation. And so I think this one, because it doesn't trade much, I think this will be something I hold until, November 17th. So I'm in on that one. Fastly, in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have gone in on this one. Let's take a look at the chart. Oh, yes, I traded the breakout. Okay, learning from this to get a better fill, I should wait, again, either for oversold status or I should wait for it to get close to the 4-hour 200 EMA. That's the pattern I'm saying. Buy the dip at the 200 EMA or oversold 4-hour status. And heck, maybe we even go to the daily. Where's the oversold on the daily? Oh, well, it's way down there. Yeah, I guess if it reaches down there, load the boat, so to speak. I'll make that alarm right now. Load the boat. It's cheap enough. Maybe I'd do shares. Honest. Yeah, just a good company. I think long term. I think they'll bounce back. Let's see how earnings are. You never know. I'm not heavy into that. Just cash secured puts. CRWV. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Yep. So here's what I found in FOMC. I got an alert for relative strength on CRWV. And, oh, okay. So the learning here is pretty straightforward. I mean, wait for the support line that coincides with, what is this orange line? The 100 EMA, I think. And so that's one option. Or, I could load the boat down here at 87 once it reaches oversold, gets closer to oversold. So why don't I do that? I'll put this alarm, load the boat, CRWV. As long as AI and AI data centers are still relevant, load the boat. Microsoft, yeah, just a recovery play from earnings. They just had huge capex, and I mean, this gap was filled, that gap was filled. These have been long coming. Now that the gap is filled, now that's when I'm going to go in. I don't like huge euphoric gaps like this. And in fact, I'm glad I put this RSI band here. You can see we're overbought significantly leading into earnings. So of course it's going to go down. Of course. Google popped up big time on earnings though. So they were reaching overbought, and they popped up over it, and then of course the sell wall. I mean, not many people should be buying up here, but Google had a strong quarter, so you never know. CMG, bad earnings. They reduced their revenue target, but look at this recovery. Look at this recovery. There's oversold, significantly oversold. But that's, you know what? I think it's going to recover at least to this trend line that I have here. And that's why I never play short term. This is January. In hindsight, I should have played like March or something. Such is life. All right, you. Maybe I should have held more. You. So, anyways, the ones these are gonna expire worthless most likely, unless it rips huge tomorrow, because my call will expire. But I had November and December calls, and they were down here, and that's ultimately what I made a small profit on. I think I made 20 or 30%, and then I sold. If we break out, fine. I mean, we got earnings coming up. That would be a nice catalyst to break upwards. We'll see what happens. I try not to play earnings, though, because it's always a crapshoot. So, yeah, red day, but I'm just going to call it quits here early because, red day, such is life. Let's see what happens tomorrow.